Hey guys, in this month's top 5, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 of my favorite TV shows that deal with family drama. So, what do I mean about family drama? I think it's pretty self-explanatory in some ways, but yeah, what I'm specifically going for with this top 5 is TV shows that involve like a whole family of characters, characters who are all related in some fashion, and they get up to a lot of rather perhaps criminal behavior together. That's the type of family drama that I am going for with this particular video. And yeah, it's going up here, the month of November, which here in America we have Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's all about, food, family, and yeah, family drama. Maybe you're lucky and you don't have family drama, But yeah, the 5 shows that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, these families certainly have some drama and a lot of criminal activity, shall I say. At number 5, Kin. Kin is a television show that first aired back in 2022, I believe. Let me look. I had to leave my computer up here so I could look at my notes. Well, okay, it originally actually came out in 2021, IMDb says, but here in America, I believe it just came out in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Kin, if you have no idea what Kin is about, because it's a rather obscure television show, it did air here in America on AMC Plus, and Kin tells the story of a fictional Dublin family embroiled in gangland war and speaks to the enduring, unbreakable bonds of blood and family. Ooh, yes. And it does take place in like a contemporary setting. And Kin stars, let me just kind of look here on IMDb who it stars real quickly. We have Charlie Cox and Claire Dunn, Aidan Gillen, Emmett J. Scanlon, Maria Doyle Kennedy. The list goes on. A lot of fantastic Irish actors, if I do say so. I just really fell in love with Kin. I wasn't quite sure what to expect with this show. I think the best way to think about this show is that it's a contemporary modern equivalent of something like Peaky Blinders. Does that make sense? Since Peaky Blinders is more of a historical setting, and yeah, that involves a family of gangsters and whatnot. Yeah, Kin is pretty much the modern Peaky Blinders. Let's put it that way. I just love this show. I love the family dynamics going on. It's all very complex and complicated. Like Charlie Cox's character, for instance, he is like just kind of being newly released from prison in the very first episode. So there's like a lot of backstory and lore within this family and how they all function together. And there's a lot of good drama and gossip and scandal that occurs. And yeah, they're not necessarily gangsters in like a traditional sense. They kind of work behind the scenes, but yeah, they have a lot of drama with other big families, and yeah, a lot of stuff going on with like money and property, and yeah, some accidental shootings that could have happened and whatnot, on the streets of Dublin. So yeah, Kin is a fantastic time. Once again, a fantastic selection of some of the best Irish actors. I highly recommend it if you have not gotten around to it. Like I said, it's currently on AMC Plus, and it has been renewed for a second season. I believe the second season is actually already aired over in the UK. So yeah, where is it, AMC Plus? I'm waiting for the second season. At number 4, The Borgias. The Borgias was a 2011 to 2013 TV series that originally aired on the Showtime network, and reading off of IMDb here, set in the 15th century, Pope Alexander VI tries to control all power in Italy with the help of several of his sons through murder, intrigue, war, and marriage alliances. Hell yes. I love all things The Borgias. Yeah, guys. As the synopsis says here, the Borgias were a big 15th century dynasty family. Yeah, one of their biggest people within the family became a pope and whatnot. And yeah, as this plot synopsis also says, there's a lot of murder and intrigue, war, marriage alliances. It gets insane and it gets good. I loved it, and it's all rather incestuous. I think for a lot of people, who don't know a hell of a lot about the Borgias, I think the word incest comes to mind. There's a lot of scandal, gossip in relation to the Borgias, that there was a little bit of some incestuous leanings going on. Was there? Wasn't there? Who knows? even historians can't agree on that fact. But yeah, the Borgias is such a good time, you guys. The historical setting is done to perfection. Um, you really feel like you're in Italy during this time period. I love the costuming, hair, makeup, the storytelling. It tries, within those 3 seasons, it gets a pretty good hefty load of the Borgia story within that. It did unfortunately get canceled. I think a 4th season would have been it for the show, but yeah, it got canceled unfortunately. So you don't get some of the really good ending material where pretty much everyone starts dying off, which is what we want to see, right? But yeah, if you don't know who's in the Borgias, it has a fantastic cast led by Jeremy Irons. Yay! We have Francois Arnaud, Holiday Granger. They are the core and crux of this show, and yeah, I can't believe Jeremy Irons did not get like more award recognition for this show, because he was absolutely killer in this show as Rodrigo Borgia. Yes. So yeah, I definitely recommend the Borgias if you love all things historical fiction, especially dealing with like Renaissance Italy. The Borgias are insane. Sometimes in some of these historical fiction shows, some of the most absurd and wild and crazy things that happen, you always think to yourself, oh, that's just too good to be true. That could not have happened. That's so historically inaccurate. But yeah, a lot of the crazy stuff that happens in the show, it did indeed really happen. So yeah, I definitely give a thumbs up for the Borgias if you have not got around to it. At number 3, A Town Called Malice. A Town Called Malice is a relatively new show, very new actually. It aired originally kind of earlier this year in 2023. And the IMDb plot summary. This intoxicating cocktail of crime thriller and family saga in the early 80s follows the Lords, a family of South London gangsters who recognize a golden opportunity to recapture their former glory on the Costa del Sol. Oh god, this show. I originally watched this show because the lovely Daniel Sharman is in it, and I am obsessed with Daniel Sharman. He is a gorgeous looking man. I originally watched the show because of Daniel Sharman, and I kind of wasn't really quite sure what I was going in for this show, and I am so pleasantly surprised I was pleasantly surprised with the show, and I'm so glad that I gave this show a shot, because it kind of exceeded my expectations. I just love the whole vibe of the show. As the plot synopsis says, it takes place in the 1980s in London for just a few episodes, and then it kind of moves out, like it says here, to the Costa del Sol. That's primarily where the show is kind of located. Um, the whole 80s vibe works for me, with the hair, the clothing, like just electronics, the way people kind of would speak, it's a mood. This whole show is just a mood and a vibe with the 80s. And this family has some serious family drama. I loved it. As the plot synopsis is kind of insinuating as well, this family, they through some events that kind of happen at the start of this show, they think, oh, this is a great opportunity for us to recapture our former glory as, these great gangsters, because they've kind of fallen on hard times. Other surrounding groups of gangsters don't take them seriously anymore. And yeah, the patriarch of this family, he is a very proud, arrogant man, and he wants to prove how great he is, how great his family is, and that they can run the streets of London once again. No one's going to take that away from them. So yeah, a lot of this show is all about this family's pride, their ego, trying to recapture their glory days. Yeah, everything they do is for money. They don't care who they hurt along the way. Yeah, A Town Called Malice is epic, you guys. I loved it, and there's something about the visual style of this show, you guys. It's so hard to describe the visual style of this show and how it's directed, because once again, it takes place in the 80s, and um, it's almost like the show is trying to mimic like 80s music videos, if that makes sense. That's kind of hard to explain unless you've seen the show, but the show definitely kind of captures that mood and essence of 80s music videos, like what you would see on MTV back in the day, you know? Um, because sometimes characters would just all of a sudden start lip syncing to a song from the 80s and start dancing, you know? It's all absurd and crazy, but like in the context of what's going on in the show, it works. It's a very hilarious show. It does have its serious moments and its dark moments, but more than anything, it's actually weirdly humorous and comedic. It's like darkly humorous, I guess. And yeah, part of that humor also comes from how it's directed and filmed, how the actors are are, are performing and whatnot. And yeah, kind of sometimes this tone of like they're trying to mimic like an 80s music video. Once again, it's so hard to explain that. But yeah, this show stars Martha Plimpton, Daniel Sharman, who I said I originally watched this show for, Jason Fleming, who I always freaking adore, Eliza Butterworth, Lex Shrapnel, Jack Rowan, the list goes on. Wonderful. I definitely recommend the show if you have not gotten around to it already. Yeah, if you love family drama, you're certainly going to love this, especially with more comedic elements to it. At number 2, Mediji. Oh my god. I don't have the words for Mediji. Dear God, this show is like historical fiction perfection. I freaking love it. Mediji ran from 2016 to 2019 with 3 seasons, and the show it's a political family drama set in Florence in the early 15th century. And the first season you focus on Cosimo de Medici, who is played by Richard Madden, and then seasons 2 and 3 follow like people who are related to him through his line, and then you get Lorenzo de Medici, played by Daniel Sharman. You know what? I've just realized I've had 2 shows on this list with Daniel Sharman. I told you guys I love Daniel Sharman. Yeah, this show definitely has a very similar vibe to the Borgias, if you cannot already tell, taking place in Renaissance Italy. They're pretty much running rather concurrently with one another. But yeah, the Borgias focusing more, with the Borgia family, and then everything going on at the Vatican and that side of Italy, whereas this show is off in Florence and focusing on a completely different type of family, So yeah, Medici and Borgia is pretty similar, but yeah, 2 totally different families, 2 totally different dramas. So yeah, it's definitely not exact by any means. But yeah, Medici stars, like I already said, Daniel Sharman, who I adore. We've already established that. But let's see, Synnøve Carlson, Sean Bean is in a season. I already said Richard Madden is in a season. Stuart Martin. Yeah, the show had 3 seasons, and it kind of is covering fairly close to about a century of the Medici family, kind of starting with Richard Madden's character, and kind of like a few decades there, and then seasons 2 and 3 kind of skip, and we kind of go to several more decades, dealing with kind of another branch with the family and whatnot. Yeah, the Medici show is absolutely spectacular. You guys, I have no words for this show. Just the way it's filmed, directed, the writing, oh my god, gorgeous, absolute gorgeous writing with this show. And yeah, the Medicis, they're a family of bankers essentially, and so yeah, that puts them in conflict with various other families within Italy, which makes for some truly entertaining, intense, pivotal moments within this show. It is just such a breathtaking, gorgeous show. Yeah, guys, you're gonna be frustrated with characters. You're gonna be angry with characters. You're gonna be sad when some of your favorite people start dying off. It's history. People are gonna, be slaughtering and brutally killing each other, backstabbing, murder, intrigue. Seriously, Medici, woo. an amazing show. I have been wanting to have a rewatch of it for quite a long time now. And the opening theme song, oh my god, the opening theme song, I never skip the opening theme song, my god. So yeah, if you're looking for another fantastic show dealing with some deep, heavy family drama full of intrigue and backstabbing, this is definitely one to watch for sure. And at number one, if you kind of haven't guessed it already, I kind of hinted at this show earlier at the top of this video, Peaky Blinders. Hell yes, Peaky Blinders was going to be number one on this list. Peaky Blinders ran from 2013 to 2022, and this is a gangster family epic set in the 1900s England, centering on a gang who sew razor blades in the peaks of their caps. Hence why they're called the Peaky Blinders. And yeah, following their fierce boss, Tommy Shelby. Yes. Oh my god, Peaky Blinders. Wow. Wow. This is kind of just... This is a show that's... It's extremely popular, but at the same time, I think also underrated to some extent. You know? If that can that exist? Can it exist to be a very popular show, but also underrated as well? Peaky Blinders stars the amazing Cillian Murphy. We have Paul Anderson, Sophie Rundle, the late great Helen McRory, who I'm still devastated about, you guys. Peaky Blinders, damn, you guys. There's a reason why this is number one on my list. You know, I love every other show on this list as well, but yeah, Peaky Blinders just takes it all. Everything, writing, directing, the sheer amount of talent that they get on this show, you guys, is absolutely ridiculous. Some of the best actors are on this damn show, and it's like, I don't know how they got some of these people. Yeah, you watch this show for the Shelby family, the dynamics within the family, the complexities, that they're a family that love each other, they root for each other, but yet they'll have those moments where it's like they're kind of working against each other, weirdly enough. They have some of the best arguments with each other, and drama. You definitely watch this show for the family dynamics. You definitely watch this show for Cillian Murphy's performance alone. He is the head of this family. Everything that happens in this show is because of him. You know, for good or ill, you know, he makes decisions for this family that can go up and down and fluctuate, and if he makes wrong decisions, that's when you start losing characters and characters start dying off, and it's a lot of it's his responsibility and his decisions that kind of get the family in certain type of predicaments with other either other criminals or with the police force or whatever. Yeah, Peaky Blinders, Jesus, I love this show. I could sit and gush about it for hour upon hour if you let me, to be quite honest. Just every season has such wonderful storytelling and interesting, nuanced characters. Just some of the most complex and nuanced characters you're going to get on television, I think. And yeah, you got to pay attention. You know, you definitely got to pay attention, because some things that kind of occur in earlier seasons kind of come back in big ways seasons later, you know, especially just overarching character dynamics and relationships. It's just such a complex and nuanced show. I cannot repeat enough. And once again, you definitely watch it for Cillian Murphy alone. And like I said, the late great Helen McRory, you guys, dear God, she is just an absolute badass bitch in this show, and I love her. She's one of the best female characters on television as well in this show. So yeah, if you have not gotten around to Peaky Blinders, where have you been? It's on Netflix. Just about everybody has a Netflix account. You need to get on it right now, people. You're not going to be disappointed. I guarantee it. So you guys, that is it for my top 5 favorite television shows that in some fashion deal with family drama. 'Tis the season, the Thanksgiving season after all. So you guys, in the comments below, what type of shows do you like that are pretty similar to this show? I've probably left off some big ones. I know a big popular one is probably The Sopranos, but I have never seen The Sopranos, you guys. Do you think, judging off of this list, that maybe I should check out The Sopranos sometime in the future? But yeah, if you have any other great recommendations for shows that are fairly similar to these type of shows, let me know down below. Maybe I'll check them out sometime in the future. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.